Nigeria is funny. After 60th birthday, we
But
did
it's
not
also
know when.
no, but also we want to chop the birthday rice first. Then
I mean,
then we
the
then we
attack.
move. You
I
can't
think
lose both ways.
we can't lose focus. We just allowed, okay, let us just give. So a few days to simmer down, eat the cake,
Exactly, and
everything,
then we move.
and then attack.
You can't lose both ways. You not lose on the celebration or lose on
No.
the this thing. That man lose no.
For what? Where you were not even eating before? No way.
Exactly. So they have to, and that's free public holiday. Like now, if you
But you
protest on
get
Monday now, right? That would be work day that they are using. So
so you don't really care anyway, but then imagine
exactly.
on the holiday you have.
Thank you. Okay, Fa, are you back here?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, this sounds much better. So let's do this again.
Okay.
Hello, our fans in the world. Welcome to episode 5 of the Black Bra podcast. It is a serious one, so I'm just going to jump into the intro and then we'll move in. So
Mhm.
I am Olori baby girl. Eka, let's hear your shout out.
Car is here. That's all.
That's it. Okay, Fa.
Hola, FA in the building.
Okay, that's the wrong attitude for this talk, but let's
This
just
Ola, in fact, I want to even address it in future, but today is not the day.
exactly. So today we're going to be talking about the NSAS campaign. That's the entire episode. So to give some background for people who may not be aware of what NSAS is, SARS stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is a subset of the Nigerian police force. Nigerian youth are protesting because this SARS group has been known in recent years to harass the youth for either having a flashy phone, a flashy car, having a laptop, wearing your hair in dreadlocks, having tattoos. They are claiming that those are that those things are used to profile a criminal. So if you possess any of those things, then you are a criminal. So therefore, they have the right to harass you, even though that is not aligned to the Nigerian law because you still have to go to a court system to prove someone is a criminal. But anyway, so that's basically what happened, and they've been killing people as part of their harassment. They also use the opportunity to shake you down for money. So they did one killing last week, and Nigerian youths were not having it. There's been protests across the country to say we need this group to be ended. It's not working basically. So that's basically what the End SARS campaign is, which is similar to the defund the police movement in the US following Black Lives Matter protests with the killing of George Floyd. Similar thing in Nigeria, they killed a young person, and we're saying NSAS. So that's the background of what the campaign and the protest, over the last couple of days in Nigeria has been. But where I want to start is kind of start from the foundation of SARS. Right. So when I did some research on this, apparently this group has been around since I think 1991.
Okay, yeah, 90, yeah.
Or like early 90s. I thought it was a more recent group.
I thought so
They've
too.
been here since 1991, and from what I understand, right, there was more brazen robberies, back then, and so to combat that, the police decided to create this special squad focused on robberies, because as we know, I think our police force, I'm not really sure what the criteria is to join, so not everybody can really be a frontline person. So I think they maybe put the best people for the robbery team, in this squad. And then the other thing that the guy that I saw on the write-up was that a key element was that they would not be on uniform, because they wanted that element of surprise for the robbers, meaning that the robbers are not aware that these people that are standing maybe looking like normal people are actually part of the police force. So when the robbers swing into action, they are caught unawares by the SARS group, and that helped to combat robberies back then. Now, as we can tell, this is a whole new squad now, because they're not really, in my opinion, doing that. Or I guess my question is, are they? So if we take out the whole police brutality, harassment, do we think that the SARS group has been effective in curbing crime in general in Nigeria, because my perspective is, I know we say Boko Haram, but I think that in the last few years, banditry has been more pronounced in the sense that small groups break out, they kidnap people for ransom, right? And then, get money that way. That has become a lucrative line of business. So for me, I feel like if you can't combat the bandits, then really your value add is not really too much for me. There's also a point in time in the last few years where I think people were robbing people in traffic in Lagos, right? It's like if you're stuck in traffic, they will break your glass window, collect your phone or whatever. I didn't see SARS swing into action there. So to me, I'm like, it would take out your excesses of this police brutality. Your base job of preventing crime or solving crime, has that been done? Let me hear what you guys girls think about that.
The issue I have here, I can't answer that question simply because I knew SARS when SARS started terrorizing people.
Fair.
Before that, I did not know SARS, which is a problem. So my question is, were they doing well? I don't know. Has their bad covered their good? Maybe. Because I don't even know. I didn't know SARS before SARS started terrorizing people.
Yeah.
So that in its own is a bad thing. But then in this world, a lot of bad is always spread before good. So that's another thing.
For me, I mean, when I did research, I think what I saw is, I heard about one guy back in the day called Shino Rambo. So I heard that was like because I mean, if I remember growing up, Nigeria, at least Lagos, was very hot. I feel like things have calmed down a bit. So I think when they started, definitely, I feel like they did their job, but I think now it's just, Nigeria in general is getting worse every day. So I think even the police force definitely has gotten worse compared to back then. Because, I mean, eventually they caught Shinorambo, but there's so many people out there doing things and they are catching people that are not doing anything. That's the problem. Like, you're killing people who are not doing anything and you're just trying to extort money from them. So I definitely feel like at some point, like the aim of the organization, like they knew what they were supposed to do. But then along the way, as usual, everything just kind of got messed up.
So along kind of that line, right? I think that, or let me take it a different place first, right? This is not the first time that SARS is killing somebody, right?
Exactly.
There have been, maybe every couple of months there's a new case,
Yes.
that we know of. Only God knows the one that we don't know about, right? What do you think triggered Nigerians this time, and we were like, nah, we're not having this one anymore? Like, what do you think was the trigger point? Because there seems to be, because I think when we talked about this like last week, I think most of us were like, well, Nigerians will talk and move on.
Yeah,
but it
not
seems
doing
like
anything.
we're now moving on from this one. Like we're on this one.
I think for me, I think at the end of the day, it's the fact that, because SARS, I think it's a federal government thing. I don't think state governments have a say to whether they can end it or not.
I think
And
the police is a federal government thing in general. So
exactly.
Yes,
So
yes.
Oga at the top, Uncle Buhari, basically your country is like people. Buhari, I don't know when he even made a statement. So I think people are even upset because of just the government. And of course, this lockdown has, people eyes have opened. People are, people who want to be wise are wiser. People who are frustrated are even more frustrated. So it's just, I think it's just the whole Corona thing, and then just the fact that we have a president. Even during Corona, like how many times did Buhari address the nation? How many times did he say, "Calm down, everything will be fine"? How many times has he come? At least I know growing up, when I was younger, Obasanjo, like you would see this guy. Obasanjo was like a celebrity. Like you would see him on TV from time to time. But Buhari is just there, keeping quiet. So I think people are even saying, "End Abi Buhari resign" or something. So I think it's that frustration with the fact that we have a president who is not addressing us. Like he's not saying anything, and then Aisha, I don't know, someone said something about Aisha Buhari that because of, I don't know, they have all these their nonsense things in Aso Rock. They're like, if it's time to talk about rubbish, Aisha Buhari will come and open her mouth on Twitter. It's like, why are you
internal affairs.
When they are
like,
oppressing her in the marriage.
With the
like, exactly. So I think it's just the fact that we have someone there who's supposed to calm us down, and he's not saying anything. And he has Lagos, like the governors can't really do much with regards to SARS, but Oga at the top is not saying anything. So
I agree with you, because the issue is now everybody's hot. Already last time we're talking about NLC strike, increase in fuel price, electricity, so many things are happening. and then SARS decides to go and kill somebody. I think this is just a smaller scale of Black Lives Matter in
Yeah,
the sense of George
there's a
Floyd.
bigger issue.
Yeah, George Floyd is being killed at a time where we are on lockdown, where coronavirus is killing people, you know. So all that has built so much because if you think about it, even with the Black Lives Matter movement, it has been happening because a lot of videos emerged of
Exactly.
how Black people were being brutally killed or even unfairly judged in
Yeah.
Right.
America. In Nigeria, SARS have been operating. This is not, as you said, this is not the first time, this is not the second time, and they've been killing. We don't know the
Yeah.
ones they've even killed that we are not aware of. But now is too hot. As in, it should never be the time. But now is not the time for you to think you
For
can
you.
eat your cake and have it, and just
Yeah.
decide, oh, okay, it's time for me to go around and start killing. When people don't even have food to eat,
Food.
already everywhere is bad. As in,
Mm-hmm.
even though somebody says, it's bad for me in Nigeria, or let me call my
Uh,
brother in America. Or America, your American brother say, they just starting from work or coronavirus. So it's like there's no outlet, and then you want to come and
Everybody's
start killing
angry.
people. As in, people already have lost their jobs. There's
Mm-hmm.
lockdown or there's no lockdown. There's curfew, whatever it is. So people have time, and people are ready. So it's not the time to cross on people's toes because people are already hot.
So,
I think that's
so
the issue.
basically, people are saying that there are way too many things going on at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That this was maybe one of the final straws, kind of on the back of people, which I
Mhm.
guess makes sense. But speaking of like protesting and going out, right? This is more of an FA versus ECA because I wasn't really tracking this argument yesterday. But basically, right, it seems like Burna Boy was being dragged because the
Mhm.
people felt
Mm.
like he didn't put mouth enough or something to
Yeah.
that effect. So let me start with FA. Where were you coming from? Because you seem to be pro the protesters, and then
Yeah.
ECA seems to be, on Burna Boy's side. So kind of because to me,
Okay.
'cause I think it speaks to what role should we be playing, I guess, in
Playing
this
as yeah.
general
Yeah, the
discourse.
whole thing. Yeah. So for me, like I've always said it, I feel like if someone has a platform, I think it is your responsibility because these people use these platforms to promote themselves. So if you're promoting yourself, what stops you? I mean, Burna Boy, yes, maybe he goes back between the UK and Nigeria. So I mean, I don't know if he really cares about Nigeria or he's just making money. But either way, Burna Boy is a big star. Like I was saying, I was telling Eka, if this was Burna Boy of 2015, nobody's checking for Burna Boy. Like if Burna Boy did not tweet NSAS, nobody cares. It's just like Small Doctor. Small Doctor led literally the whole of, I think it was Agege or Ikorodu to protest. Nobody's checking for Small Doctor. If this was Small Doctor of when
That's
he
so
was
rude.
popular, people would drag him and say, look at this stupid guy. Like, how can you know? So I think it's more of to whom much is given, much is expected. Burna Boy is like currently probably like the biggest artist, and he says Giant of Africa. Like, his album is he Giant of Africa or what? The
Twice
first,
as
if something
tall.
is
Twice
happening
as
in
tall.
Africa and it's trending, and maybe if I'm a journalist, let's say I work with CNN, I'm going to first go to Burna Boy's account because this guy, first of all, when we think Africa, we're thinking Burna Boy, like for celebrity or for entertainment. So it's like he didn't say anything. And then you now come after how many days and you say your mother was sick. And yeah, I'm like, look, you're too big. Like he said
He
he's too
didn't
big.
say
What?
his mother was sick. Did you see it in his account?
Okay, what was his
Please
thing?
get your facts right. Sorry to cut you short. Did Burna
Calm
Boy
down.
or his people come and say his mother was sick? No, no, please, please,
Okay, so what was the excuse? Like, okay, he just didn't want to say anything.
please. No, finish your time.
Anyways, my whole thing is if you have a platform, whether you're Burna Boy or you're anyone, just say something. Like even if you don't, I mean, we know Nigerian people, they'll still drag you if you don't protest, but at least we'll say, at least he said something. I just feel like he said it too late. By then everyone was already like, say something, say something, say something, and he didn't say anything. You say you're a giant, or I don't even know. But you said like you're the biggest star in Africa. You always talk about Africa, you talk about Nigeria. Why would you keep quiet when something like this is happening? Like that's just my own thing. Like you're a celebrity, you have that platform, probably one of the top celebrities out of not just Nigeria, out of Africa, and then you don't say anything. Like it was somehow to me, sure, you know.
Eka, the
So Eka,
floor.
please.
Chai, I must say. Do you know what? I've had sleepless nights, up and down, up and the bottom line is this. Me, I actually don't have anything to say here. He was dragged. So let me start. Let's look at dates first. This End SARS campaign heated up properly October 8th, correct?
Facts. Oh my goodness. I love
Today,
this.
yes, today, the day Burna Boy came online, So this is between October 8th and now. There has been no post about on yesterday. October 10th, Burna Boy comes and does posts about what he has done or what he's doing to support the movement, and then NSAS, blah blah blah, hashtag and everything. So now he was being dragged for what between October 8th and October 10th. Let's say one day, 24 hours.
Did the dragging
Wait,
start
no,
October?
nah. Yeah, sorry.
Did it start
Hello?
October 8th? I thought it started before that.
Honorable FA, please off your mic. Thanks.
No, I'm saying no. I didn't say dragging. I'm saying that the heat of the campaign, when it has
Okay.
reached a scale, was October 8th. Burna Boy October 10th came to come and talk. Now there's 24 hours in between this time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because now it looks like everybody. The issue I have with this, you're not wrong in saying if you have a platform, use it. Right? You're not wrong in saying if you have a platform, support something. My own issue is that people are saying that you should use your platform the way they want you to use it. They have prescribed a way. It is this kind of thing of, let me give a typical example. This might be throwing it off a bit too much. It is the typical example of, as a woman and a man, when you people finish school, you have to marry after 6 months before you're 30. Once you enter the house, 9 months time, how far now, auntie? Are you barren? Is that kind of expectation? Why can't you just allow the man post the thing when he wants to post it? Why drag him down collectively? Bam. That's my first issue here. My second issue is the energy at which he's giving to Burna Boy. Mind you, all this one you're saying, Burna Boy, giant of Africa, what is he? I didn't see him saying he's the president of Africa in his platform.
He has.
I didn't say no. He didn't say he's the president of Africa.
Not
And
president,
he has.
but
Well, no,
your
that's what I'm saying
country.
now. He has said. First of all, what's Burna Boy's job? He's an artist. He's a musician. He didn't say he's an activist. He didn't say he's the president of Africa. All your problems, bring it to me, and I will air it for you. He didn't swear an oath. The president that swore an oath did not talk. He talked after Burna Boy. That is my issue. That's the second issue. The third issue is people forget somebody's past. Burna Boy did not talk now. That doesn't mean he has not been talking before. Who knows? He sat down with his team and decided, this time I've been making noise. It wasn't as effective. Let me come and sit down. Let us do something different. But nobody allowed him. Impatience.
Okay, but I'm sorry.
Expectations. That. People expect a certain thing from a certain person. Unfortunately, the expectations on celebrities is so high. Meanwhile, can I just point it out to, if you're from Niger Delta, Akpabio and his 20 ministers are still at large. Have you people dragged them down? No. It's Burna Boy.
Who?
Akpabio.
And the ministers. The NDDC people that stole money, they are still at large. They finished 50. How many months now? They've not asked them, where is the money you took? Meanwhile, Burna Boy, 24 hours of not doing what people did not vote for. Nobody voted for Burna Boy to be an artist. So I don't know the contract. Maybe there's a contract or manifesto that once you're an artist or a celebrity, they say you must sign.
Okay, when you finish, I'll look.
Sorry, no, that's the end. So that's all I need to say. I think my own is the fact that there is a dragging down for somebody on somebody that because how many people does this person please? If you do like this, they'll say you didn't do it on time. You came late. Okay, he has posted now. Why is he still being hated? They say he came too late in the span of October 8th to October 10th. I know the foreign people that we always look up to. I know some of them, it takes some time. I've seen some foreign celebrities, even this Black Lives Matter, they came later and they'll start their post with, I've been thinking of how best to write this because it pains my heart so much. I know that sometimes they don't come immediately after 2 hours. They come after 1 week, after 5 days, and then they show the initiatives, even with all the people around them. Me, I know that one. But our
Okay.
own, once you don't post, you're a scam. Cancel.
Okay, honorable
Yeah,
FA.
please. The honorable can speak now. So basically, this is my thing. Eka, you were saying you've seen some foreign celebrities. Now, the thing is, let's say one of the biggest, like maybe in Black culture, let's say it would be someone like Jay-Z. When this whole Black Lives Matter thing started, I think Jay-Z actually made it. Beyonce made Jay-Z, like when you're talking of Black culture or pop culture, whatever, Jay-Z, Beyonce, King, Queen, Hova, B, whatever, they will speak. They will speak
Did you have you gotten the timings? Did they come at the time?
yes, they came
Do you
from day
know?
one
Do
because
you
if they
have the
dragged
stats?
yes, it's just like how Burna
Stats.
Boy is trending. If they didn't say anything, they would have trended on Twitter. Something at the end of the day, let's remember this is Twitter. Twitter is like it's like hell. Whether you're Nigerian or like Twitter is not Instagram. People will drag you. Look at for the littlest things they will drag you. So I'm just saying Burna Boy has it's the same like that's what I'm saying to whom much is given. If so was Burna Boy of 5 years ago or 3 years ago, nobody cares. We'll be looking at the biggest artist in Nigeria at that moment and say, this guy, why didn't he talk? Why didn't he talk? So I'm not saying the dragging is good, but I'm saying you have that platform. You are the biggest like star out of Africa at the moment. He's like, I think there was even an interview I think he did with CNN or someone that even came in like a few days before this whole thing started. And it's like, this is your time to just like come in and just say something. Why are you keeping quiet?
Honorable
Like that's my
FA,
own thing. Like
can I just interject in this?
even Kim
second round?
Kardashian, like she's a celebrity. She's like, I feel like African artists. Let me just talk about Nigeria, not even African. We need to hold our celebrities responsible for things. You cannot say you are a celebrity in Nigeria and you're not doing. How many of our celebrities?
Sorry, I
Wait,
object.
let me finish.
We need to hold our government accountable first. You're busy holding celebrity accountable for what they did not
Please,
sign for.
honorable
Can you imagine?
off your mic, please.
No, this is about because we came with Burna Boy. I wouldn't hold a celebrity accountable, but we're talking about in this context now. So I'm comparing it to other countries where we have activists. Like someone like Kim Kardashian now, like she used her platform to even like she went to a whole president. We have celebrities in this country that have phone numbers of governors on speed dial. What are they doing about these things?
Are you in their house when they are calling them?
Can I interject,
Anyways,
please? Can I please, Honorable Lori would like to,
please help us.
Thanks. So I think to bring it together from what I'm hearing, right? I think to be honest, I think I may be leaning a bit more to Eka, but I appreciate what you're saying, Efe, in the sense that you have a platform. And maybe on some level there's a moral responsibility, right, to use that platform to further a good cause, because the people that were asking you to speak on are people that are buying your album and you know helping to make you popular. But I would say this in terms of like specifically about Burna Boy and then in general, as Eka said, Burna Boy through his music has been very kind of, I won't say anti-government, but has tried to highlight some of these societal issues in his song or in in other discussions. So to me, I feel like we know his heart as an artist, so that dragging was a bit unfair. And then secondly, which is my general point of like the performing, right? If he said, because I think what he came out to do was all the billboards that had his album promotion, I think were now changed to show the NSAS campaign instead, right? Which for me is a powerful message, but people didn't want to wait for that. So to me, I think as a person, because sometimes I struggle with this, right? In the sense of like, I may have like we may be on the same page in terms of like this is a bad thing, but I don't want to approach it the way that you want to
approach it,
because as you've said, we've done it many times. Why is this one the different one? So if I feel like me taking action is more impactful, right? Then do that. Now I think that there could be an argument to say, was it a low-hanging fruit to maybe just tweet NSAS hashtag, and just to just calm people down? Maybe, but I think that we're having this conversation about being performative. There are many artists right now that are going to get some commercial value from doing this, right?
Hashtag
so to me, were they being genuine, or did they know that this could be a potential commercial value,
That's the
right?
thing.
Okay,
And
but let me
get
say,
followers that way.
but with this genuine thing, it's the same problem I have with people that say, oh, when celebrities go to orphanage homes, why take pictures?
Right.
To you might think they're showing off, but trust me, there's someone, me, when I see those pictures, I feel inspired. Like, oh, yes, whatever, you're giving Indomie, you're giving rice, but it's yeah, I know you don't have to show it, but I think most times they should. I'm not going to lie, I feel like most times they do it because they want people to praise them. On the other hand, we have to look at what is it doing? Is it actually adding good? Because for me, it's in general, what is the end result? It's not about the intention. What is the end result? If Burna Boy doesn't care about this thing, like nobody knows, we don't know. But if he posted it, the end result is yes, you supported us. Yes,
He
other people
post
will
if he
jump.
posted it or he has posted it, please. Oh, don't say
No, that's
if
what I'm saying.
he.
That time now, like when it first
Okay.
started, because everything is dying down now. Like in the heat of the moment, if he had done that, like I feel like this guy is trending on international websites. We would have trended at the beginning. Even Buhari would probably have opened his dirty mouth to say something.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, like, that's how big,
Wow.
like, he's a big artist. He's like, right now, he's probably the biggest artist. So I'm just saying, it's not about what you think or what you want to do. Is what is the end goal, or what is the end, what's the product, like what does this thing do? There are many people that get inspired by seeing celebrities going to orphanage homes, even if they're showing off. But it's like, they went here, maybe next week I'll do my own. Like, it's not even because, oh, you're showing off. For them, they're not looking at it that way. So for me, it's just the end result. Because of that influence you have, many people are trying. It's like Kim Kardashian now. See everybody doing BBL. Kim Kardashian has said that trend. It's like, look, this is what I'm doing. People now want to look like that. So it's like, why not jump on something that's positive, you know?
Okay. So let's because this argument, let's just wrap up
Rest
and
it
just
there. To be
just
honest.
let's just rest our
Yeah.
case there and just
Let's
move
to be honest,
on.
it's not anybody's fault. The bottom line is that he's the one that is successful now. Unfortunately, in this life, once you go up,
Once you're exactly,
they go and be looking for how to bring you down. That's all I can say. Even Jesus was crucified. Thank
Oh,
you.
right.
Okay. So as I move on to this, so I think as of this morning, the government has said that they want to scrap
Yes.
Yes,
SARS, or
yes.
that they've already scrapped it or they've already disbanded
Yeah.
SARS. I guess my question is, what does disband mean? And then what happens to the members when it is scrapped? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think we have some very rogue elements in SARS. And so if you
Definitely.
disband them, do we now arm the next level of arm robbers, basically? Former SARS members are now the new arm robbers, or do we just reabsorb them into the police force since they really are police officers? Do you get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what does the disband mean? I guess is my question. What do you girls feel about that?
I think they've even, when I was watching the news, that's what they wrote there, that they've disbanded. Oh, sorry, the what they call his name, the IG or the DG. When he was talking, when he was announcing it, he said they've been disbanded and these officers will be reassigned to other units. Abi, what did he say? So that is what is going to happen.
That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Because
the thing
without
is,
any rehabilitation, right? Just
They are going with that
reassigning
same
them.
energy.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
mind you, it's not that our police force is like the non-SARS guys. They aren't any
They're
better.
even better.
No.
They're not better. It's just that they are less brazen. Or
Yes, because they are in uniform.
yeah, and they tend to be a bit more friendly in the sense that they won't just beg you for money. No offense. So they're not really trying to do bass boss, early on. It's now when you now show yourself that they now want to, do you back. But SARS from the initial meeting is aggressive. So saying that will be reassigned for me is a problem.
For me,
Well,
we've not
back to
heard
square
from
one.
the Oga at the top, because I remember they said this is not the first time they are disbanding
That
them,
was
and then
Boo Boo.
yeah, but we've not heard from Oga at the top whether this, because all we're hearing now is just rumors. Inspector General of Police, this one, that one. Secondly, this is a bigger, like this whole SARS thing is, I think it's bigger than what we're even like talking about, because it's not just SARS. Almost every organization in this country needs to be this. In fact, some of them, they do nothing. Like, there's no point wasting money on this ministry or this organization. So it's, first of all, with SARS, I think retraining psychology, like they need psychiatrists to actually analyze people, because our Nigerian police, as much as they're stupid, these people, like, you're dying for, like, these people are on the line. Do you get? I'm sure they suffer from depression, and they'll now transfer that aggression. So these people have families. These people have emotions also. So these things they're doing, it's not. I don't think it's natural. Yes, we know
Okay.
Nigeria is a mad place. So I think it's more of retraining. And then seeing who can stand the heat and who can't. If you can't stand it, move out. Like, we're sending you out. SARS needs to exist because Nigeria insecurity is one of the biggest issues we have in the country. So we need SARS. We just need the right people, not just any kind of person. So they need to check who they are putting into SARS, or even the whole police force. They just need to make sure
you make a good point in the sense of like the recruit, and this is where I feel like sometimes we are our own problem in the recruitment of the police force, right? I think we recruit police like we recruit every other civil service agency.
Exactly.
Right? You know someone that, okay, maybe my husband is being useless. Maybe police will fit him. Right? He's beating you in the house, so maybe you're not thinking that, okay, that energy can be used in the police force. You don't have an uncle that has a connect to the next police hiring drive, and then you now put him in there. We look at it as just, you know, a place to earn salary from. There is no psychological evaluation. I don't even know if many of our police can actually physically combat. You know, what is the firearms training? You know, what do they even know the rules and regulations that are involved? Because I think there's even a time where I think I had an issue with FRSC or something, and the guy was telling me that I guess with my foreign license or something, that, you know, with that or something else, that I could drive in Lagos. And I was like, do your men on the road
understand that?
Yeah, because when I get stopped, that would not be what we'll be discussing. So even our police, they don't know the laws of the land that they're meant to be, you know, protecting us against. No reason why we have police, and in Lagos people were robbing people in traffic.
Exactly. That's the thing. They're not doing their job.
I think the issue is, even as you were talking about the recruitment process, the challenge I have, which I have been speaking about, is they are recruiting from this same populace, so that everybody's head self is not normally correct. So on a normal day, some people are going into police to say, I saw my uncle how he made money from this police thing, and he went up the ranks, and at least it was a secure job. Then they'll enter. That's why most civil service jobs, you will see, especially if you're in Abuja, you see how thousands of people will travel and go for the recruitment process. They would rather die there, spend all their savings to enter, and when you do that already, that is how you entered. You paid somebody to enter. By the time you do that, you must make money inside that thing now. So that's the mentality they are going with. So unfortunately, SARS is just one. I think SARS brutality was really so bad. But we can even see police people. We've seen videos of how police people,
they're power drunk.
Exactly.
I remember one of kind of our drivers was saying how, because he also had some temper issues, to be honest. But I think he didn't have any issue arguing with police, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was told that on one of his trips, and this is, you know, argument with police, the police guy told him that, see, I will shoot you here and kill you, and nobody will ask me any question. Like, nobody will ask me any question.
And that's the truth. That's
the thing.
Because who does my driver know? As in who does he know?
Yeah.
As in, to go and call. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I will kill you and nothing will happen. So and that isn't SARS. That is police. And the next table that we probably need to shake is actually our military. Because military are also
sister, that's a very big table that it needs to be broken, not even shook. Because military, the worst part, military's own is that, at least your own is that the police is telling your driver that. Military's own is that we don't care who you are, who you are linked to. We are military. We say come out of the car. Once you come out, we say open your boots. We say kneel down here. You will kneel down.
And they will whip you with like this
whip you
this thing.
People's fathers.
And there's no, you know, they can slap you in a bus, or they can enter a bus and not pay the fare because they are soldiers. So for me, there's a whole power structure, right, that I think needs to be revamped. And the issue with Nigeria is like, I think as FA said, there are so many things that need to be changed, revamped. And back to mental health too, is also, to your point, if you've gone to war, you've seen Boko Haram shoot your fellow members, you know, point blank range. You've seen you become maybe a monster in a sense as well. So I don't really know how we solve the problem, but I think that, and we'll do final thoughts in a second, but I think my own final thought is, let's really understand what the MOU of this disbandment means, because to me it seems like it's just another
there's
stopping
nothing to
level.
happen.
Restructuring.
Yeah. So yeah, let you guys have your final thoughts, because we have like maybe 2 minutes left.
I'll just say that I think it's a step in the right direction. At least people campaigned for something and it happened. Now, this is a step in the right direction. There's a long journey to go through. So there's still a lot that needs to be done, because we're still dealing with the same people moved into different regions of the police force. So I think that's the next step.
For me, I would say, I mean, the whole NSAS movement, we definitely got attention. The problem I have with Nigeria or Nigerian government or Nigerian leaders is it's all talk and no action. So, okay, we're disbanding SARS, SARS dissolved. What happens next? So let's see what happens in the next couple of months. But I'm not I'm not relaxed. Yes, we've gotten the attention, but are they going to actually do anything? That's just it.
All right, ladies, we've come to the end of episode 5. Very sober,
Emotional.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll keep it light in the next one. But thank you guys for listening. See us in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Bye.